Welcome to 3.4, volume and capacity of spheres, cones, and pyramids now. Okay, so this is going to be the last one of chapter 3. We're going to start off with the formula for a sphere. So the volume of a sphere is going to be 4/3, or 4 divided by 3, times pi times r to the power of 3, or cubed. We are also going to be dealing with capacity, so we're going to have to figure out how many liters of water would fit into however much volume we have. So what we need to do is figure out how to change something that's in meters cubed to centimeters cubed. And the reason why that's going to be important is because we know that there are 1,000 centimeters cubed is 1 liter, right? So what we're going to end up having is something that's maybe in I don't know, like say it's something like 2 meters cubed. We'd have to change that volume into centimeters cubed so that we could change it back into liters. So the way that we're going to do that is by knowing that if we change, let's say, meters, meters, and meters into centimeters all the way around, well, that would be 100 times 100 times 100. So if you had 1 meter cubed, which is pretty much what this box is, right? 1 meter cubed, that'd be the same thing as 100 times 100 times 100. Well, that's 1,000,000. So we can say that 1 meters cubed is equal to 1,000,000 centimeters cubed. Okay, so that's going to come in handy in a bit here, but let's just kind of move on until we get to there. So I'll let you guys look through example 1. Let's do just number 1 here, though, on our own. So the formula for volume of a sphere is V is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. So the volume is going to be equal to 4/3, or 4 divided by 3, times pi times the radius of 8.5 centimeters to the power of 3. Okay, so here's how you put it into your calculator. You'd go 4 divided by 3. If you want to, you can push equals, because that's what that's equal to, right? 1.3 yada 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 times pi times 8.5, and then on my calculator it's this x to the y one, so it's going to be to the 8.5. You can see the little hat kind of over in the corner there. Hopefully you can see that. That's like to the power of 3, and then equals. So the volume of this one is going to be 2,572. 72 centimeters cubed. If you want to make sure that you did it all right too, I did it all in kind of like one step in my calculator, but what you could do is just figure out what 8.5 cubed is and then multiply it by 4 divided by 3 times pi, or you can do it really in any order you want there. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys go ahead and do part B. Everything's the same except now we have a diameter. How do you change diameter into radius? That's the question, right? So V is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. Oh, and if I might forgot to tell you this, this is on your formula sheet too, right? Volume of a sphere, 4/3 pi r cubed down the bottom there. Okay, number 2. A sphere with a radius of 46 is centered inside the sphere with a radius of 76. What's the volume of the space between the two spheres? So really what we've got here is just, we have the volume of the big sphere, the whole thing on the outside, and then we're just going to subtract the sphere in the middle. And what you have left, that's going to be the volume around the outside, right? Okay, so we just have 2 spheres to figure out, and then we're just going to subtract them. So let's go the volume of the big sphere. So we'll say V is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. So V is equal to 4/3 pi times 76 cubed. Actually, I don't need to write that. Let's put it into the calculator. So let's start over here. Go 4 divided by 3 times pi times 76 to the power of 3, and then enter. And it really is going to be that giant number there, so it's going to be, what is that? 1,838,778 centimeters cubed. Okay, and then the volume of the inside sphere is going to be 4/3 pi, and then the inside radius was 46 cubed. So that, if you put it into your calculator, is going to be 407,720 centimeters cubed. And then lastly, I just need to subtract those two. So in the end, I'm just going to say, okay, V is equal to the volume of the big one minus the volume of the inside one. So 4,720. Okay, so V in that case is going to be equal to that giant number, and then circle your answer. All right, what's a capacity? So we're talking about just how much liters can go into that. Well, that's going to be pretty easy. All we need to do is just divide by 1,000 to figure out how, because it's already in centimeters cubed. Now remember, there are 1,000 centimeters cubed in 1 liter. So we're just going to divide that by 1,000, and you would get that for an answer. That's just that divided by 1,000. All right, moving on. Okay, now we're going to be dealing with volume and capacity of pyramids. We have a new formula, 1/3 length times width times height. So that's also on your formula sheet, right? Except on this one it says pyramids equal to 1/3 area of the base times height. That's the same thing as length times width, right? Because that's just figuring out what the bottom of our pyramid would be, and that's length times width, right? So same thing. So you guys can look through example number 2 for an example there. I'm going to move on to number 3A. Okay, so the volume of this one is going to be equal to length times width times height. Oh yeah, and multiply by 1/3. If you wanted to, we can just go length times width times height. Multiplying by 1/3, that's the same thing as dividing by 3. So you could do whatever one you like there. So I'm just going to go V is equal to, I'll keep it as 1/3 for now maybe, times the length of 15, 17, and 19. Really, as long as you get them all, it doesn't really matter what order you put those in. So that would be equal to 1,615 inches cubed. Okay, I'll let you guys go ahead and do number B. So answer 3B now. Okay, and I'm going to let you guys do number C too, or letter C I should say. It's just 2 pyramids is all it is, so you're just going to have to find twice. So here's 1, figure out what the top pyramid is, and then figure out what the bottom pyramid is, and then add them together. So you should have all the numbers that you need there. You've got a length, you've got a width. You'll just have a different height for your 2 triangles on the top and the bottom. So go ahead and answer C now. Okay, so for this one, actually, I'm going to let you not do capacity, just to kind of keep it a little bit more simple here. And let's keep it in feet. We were going to change it to meters, but let's keep it in feet here. So they've given us the dimensions, you know, the length and the height of the prism on the bottom, or the rectangular prism. But we don't know the triangular prism on the top. You can kind of see there, right? It does say, though, that the height to the peak is 15 feet. So if you could kind of think about from there straight down to the bottom. Hopefully you can kind of see what I meant there. But what we need, if we want to figure out what the volume of this triangular prism on the top part of it is going to be, we're going to have to go 15 feet minus the height of the box here, so minus 9. So that's going to be 6. So the height there is going to be 6. So if we want to figure out the height of just the triangular prism part, that's going to be V is equal to 1/3. It's going to be 22 times 20 times a height of 6, we said. Hopefully you can kind of see that. That's like the red part up top here, right? Just like the peak of our roof. And we used our height of 6 because it's got to be 15 minus the height of this, right? Because it was 15 to the right from the bottom to the top there. Okay, so that's going to be, we'll go 1 divided by 3 times 22 times 20 times 6. So 880 feet cubed is going to be the volume of just the top part. Now it's pretty easy. We just got to figure out what the volume of the rectangular prism on the bottom. So this part down here, everything below the peak there. So we have all the dimensions for that. So we're we're good for that one. That's just going to be V is equal to length times width times height. So 22 times 20 times 9. So 3,960 feet cubed. And then lastly, I'm just going to add them together. So the total volume is going to be 880. That's 880 feet cubed plus 3,960 feet cubed. So just that plus 880 because it's still in my calculator. So 4,840 feet cubed. Oh, that should be a cubed up there. Okay, and then circle your answer. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys do number 5. So just calculate the volume of the prism, so this one, and the pyramid. What's the difference in the volume? So I'll let you guys go ahead and answer number 5 now. Okay. Okay, now we're going to just have a little twist on something. Now they're not giving you the height. You can kind of see here that it doesn't give you the height from the bottom to the top, but it does give you the slant height. It gives you the height like up and down the side there, right? That was the one that we needed when we were looking for surface area. So we had to kind of figure that out when we were doing that. Now we're kind of doing the opposite. We want to figure out what the height here is. But actually, well, the way you would do it is just by doing a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So hopefully you can see that like right triangle inside there. And in this case now, though, 22 centimeters, that would be our C. Our bottom here, from the bottom from there to there, well, that'd be half of 26, so that's 13. And then we just go 22 squared minus 13 squared is equal to the height. And then we'd figure out what that was, so maybe that'd be a squared. And then we'd figure out what a squared was. Okay, so that's how you would do that, but I'm going to let you guys actually skip these questions. So you can go ahead and skip the last page too. Number 6. Yeah. This is all the questions you were going to get for that one, so you can go ahead and skip those ones. And then we are going to jump into cones as soon as it comes up. Okay, last formula that we're going to have it all actually for this unit is volume of a cone. So it's going to be, it's going to be 1/3 times the base of the cone times the height. And the area of the base of the cone is a circle, right? So if you got a cone, let's go to the next page. So anyway, that's what the formula is. And it's going to be cone 1/3 pi r squared times height. So pi r squared is the area of a circle. So let's go to the next page here and just do one. So that would be this, right? Area of the base, and then just times 1/3 the height, and that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and figure out the volume of this one. So that's going to be V is equal to 1/3 pi r squared times the height. So V is 1/3 times pi times the radius is 5 inches. squared times the height of 14.5. Okay, and to put that in your calculator, you just go 1 divided by 3 times pi times 5 squared, and then just one more time, times the height of 14.5, and then equals. So 379.6, yeah, we'll leave it like that. 0.6, that'd be inches squared, or sorry, inches cubed. Those little dashes are another way of writing inches. Okay, so that's pretty much all there is. So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and do B here. You've just got 2 of them now that you're just going to add together. So go ahead and answer 7B now. Okay, C, same thing. You've just got 2 different shapes here now, though. So just make sure you've got a cone and then you've got a cylinder. And then you're going to add them together. So figure out the cylinder, figure out the cone, and then add those 2 together. So you've got a formula for a cone here on your formula sheet. You've got also one for a cylinder. So I'll let you guys go ahead and answer C now. Okay, so let's answer 8 together. It says a cone has a radius of 12 millimeters and a volume of that many millimeters squared. What's its height? So let's write down the volume of a cone first. So a cone is 1/3 pi r squared times height. Okay, and we're looking for the height, right? So what we're going to do, like we've done before, this time it gives us the volume. So I'm going to put that number in place of volume. So that's going to be 4,071.5 millimeters squared is equal to 1/3 pi times 12 squared. That's the radius, right? Times the height. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually just multiply all these things together right now so it doesn't look so confusing. So let's just leave this number over here, 4,071.5. I'll even drop the units for now just to keep it easy. So just forget about those for a second. Is equal to, now 1 divided by 3 times pi times 12 squared. Let's write that as a number. So I'm going to go 1 divided by 3 times pi times 12 squared equals 150.8. So this is 150.8, and then times the height. Okay, and then last thing we got to do is just get rid of this 150.8. So the way I'm going to do that is divide both sides by 150.8. And what happens is that 150.8 divided by 150.8 on the right side here, they cancel. And we've just got, I'm just going to move this up here so we got more room. We've just got height is equal to, and then it was equal to this, right? Just divide those two. So 4,071.5 divided by 150.8 is equal to 26.999, so just 27. So 27 millimeters. Okay, and then circle your answer. All right, number 9. Let's cancel number 9. Let's not do number 9. Okay, moving on. Okay, now some practice your skill ones. Okay, so number 1, I'm gonna let you guys do these ones. They're just pretty much straight up using the formulas. This one, you've got 2 things to add there, so I'll let you do that. But number 1, let's answer number 1A now. Okay, 1B, you guys can go ahead and answer now. 1C, go ahead and answer number 1C now. And then finally D, just remember before you do this one, you've got what looks like a half of a sphere, a hemisphere, and a cone. So make sure you find your, well, there's a cone right there you found, and then a sphere is down there. Just make sure though that you've only got half of a sphere, right? So when you figure out the volume of that sphere, just divide it by 2. Okay, and then you're just going to add those two things together. So go ahead and answer number 1D now. And I'm going to let you guys not do number 2. Cancel that one. Okay, number 3, a square base pyramid with a base with sides 14 and a height of 45. A cone has a diameter of 14 centimeters and also a height of 45. What's the difference in volume between the two figures? So really, you've just got to figure out the volume of both of those shapes and then subtract them. That's pretty much it. So I'll let you guys go ahead and answer 3A now. Okay, 3B. You might just need to remember that there are in 1,000 centimeters cubed, that's equal to 1 liter. So your answer is just going to be, so whatever your answer was from A, just figure out what that would be in liters using this. Okay, so go ahead and answer 3B now. Okay, 4. When grain is poured from a hopper onto the ground, it forms a cone-shaped pile. The diameter of the base is approximately 4.5 meters. Remember diameter, what do you need to do to that? And the height is 1.2. How many cubic meters of grain are in the pile? So we're really just looking for volume. So go ahead and answer number 4 now. Okay, and just for time's sake, I'm going to let you guys cancel number 5 too. So that's going to be it for that one. And then we're going to have the chapter 3 test next. So I'll see you guys in the next video.